Give me a bit of a sense then of how you're getting set up for the remainder of 2021. You talk about being in a strong position. Just add a little bit of context to that for our global audience.
So for the rest of 2021, I mean, we've built a firm foundation, as you've seen through our operating and financial results. Now it's about consolidating and continue to improve the performance of Lihir. We've broken all sorts of records at Cadia in terms of let's build on that, let's lock that in and see where else we can get to. Finish the work we're doing at Telfer on the new tailings dams that we're putting in and the various cutbacks, and start to get that grade to the mill and improve its financial performance, and really focus on our growth projects. I mean, Havieron, we've started the decline. That's on the fast track in order to get its material into the Telfer mine to boost its ounces, but also to create the margin. It's very high-grade ore coming from Havieron. We've just announced today the start of the beginning of the box cut at Red Chris, which is essentially the start of the decline process. Our strategy is well laid out, and we're just going to stick to the plan.
What about M&A opportunities then, given the strength in the sector that you just talked us through? Are there any particular geographies you're prioritizing? What's the plan?
Yeah, so we've earmarked the Americas, so this is both north and south, as a place for us to grow, not just through potential M&A, but also grassroots exploration and project development. So that's an area that we think is highly prospective in all aspects of business development growth, as is our own backyard in Australia and in the region here. We've gravitated to these two areas as really the epicenter of funneling the future growth of the company.
So how long is it going to be before we see you do deals?
Well, we've done a few in the last couple of years, and we're digesting those in terms of the Red Chris, the Havieron farm-in, numerous exploration JVs, the interest that we've taken in Lundin Gold and expanded on last year. So it's really opportunity-based. I mean, we have a very clear criteria about what we want to look at and what are the sort of returns that we want. Bearing in mind in the current market, it's very difficult to get the returns you want at a transaction rate of return. So what we have is a unique set of technical skills, and we look through the lens of, well, if that's a transaction, where can we add value to get the sorts of double-digit returns that we need to justify spending that money? And so we're not restricted in any way, shape.
Sandeep, you have the vaccines getting rolled out. The outlook for the economy is improving. That's not necessarily an underlying driver of potential future gold price growth. What is your outlook for gold then going forward?
I still think it's very strong. I mean, look, if you look at all the money that's being printed at the moment throughout the world, if you look at the volatility that you're seeing in markets, in fact, the volatility you're seeing things like even in cryptocurrency, what gold does to a portfolio is hedges against all those volatilities, all the potential risks that come with so much money being printed. So I don't see the demand for gold and the interest in gold receding anytime soon. I mean, it'll always be volatile at its own level, but less so than some other investments, and a very handy thing to have as a hedge in anybody's portfolio. So it's got use.
Yeah, I'm told that you rarely give any price forecasts, if at all. So I'm going to try and at least extrapolate a range. What could we be looking at then?
I mean, the first thing I'll add, I mean, you will see volatility, but I can see, again, it's very difficult to forecast this, but, strong gold prices, where we are plus or minus 10% is not out of the question. But I think it'll stay strong with that sort of volatility that I've just indicated around it.
Is that partially inspired by inflation expectations as well, that you see all these stimulus programs and monetary policy actions, the additional liquidity, that starts devaluing some of the sort of fiat currencies and plays into gold? Is that part of the thinking here?
Absolutely. I mean, that's what I was alluding to before. With printing all that money, There's no doubt going to be inflationary pressures at some point in time. And having gold in your portfolio is going to be seen as a very good thing. And the other thing is, I think during the pandemic, a lot of people who may not be new to gold have realised what a handy thing it is to have in order to balance out the risk weighting in one's portfolio. So I think it's our job to get the message further out there about the importance of gold. But it's been out there for thousands of years, and I think that importance is not about to change anytime soon.
How much of a distraction is the new wave of cryptocurrency interest, and arguably the latest move by Elon Musk to dip into Bitcoin with Tesla on the corporate side as well? We understand MasterCard might be accepting cryptocurrency. So there's clearly a wider corporate momentum that is at least beginning to build. We're not going to say it's anywhere near consensus or mainstream, but it is growing on the sides. How do you interpret that?
Well, my interpretation is for gold is a different class of investment. If you look at gold, what are the differences? First of all, it's a tangible asset. You can see it, you can touch it, you can feel it, you can mold it, you can make it into jewelry, whatever you want. It's highly liquid, right? There's great markets for gold. It's less volatile. It's a proven investment for for thousands of years, let alone tens of years. And it may act as a bit of a hedge against the volatility of cryptos. I mean, if you're getting into cryptos, you want to consider having some gold. And the other thing is, gold is not replicable. There's only so much gold in the world, and there's only so much that will be found. So the barriers to entry and duplication are zero. There's no other thing. Whereas currencies, we see them proliferating all over the place.